Hello, greetings, dear students. This is a pre-recorded discussion, by the way, and this is for my English 100B classes na wala na ako naklasihi sa lesson 3 and then sa lesson 4. So I will be discussing the main topics under the last two lessons since tapos naman kita sa outlining or lesson 2 which is the outline. Dire na kita sa lesson 3, writing the composition, and sa lesson 4, I believe, is the giving the title. So you can watch this whenever you want. You can watch this asynchronously kay para by next week, ready na ang ato knowledge for our midterm activity. Okay? So lesson 3 is titled, obviously, as writing the composition. This is where we execute our ideas. This is where we put our emotions, feelings, and thoughts into words na good, like writing na good siya. Okay? How to specifically write. So, we start with writing the composition. Always remember nga na lang tayo 3 parts. Okay? The introduction, the body, and then the conclusion. Di ni sila mawala sa atong composition. When we start a composition, we always start with the introduction, followed by the body, the details, and then the conclusion. So the introduction is or should capture the reader's interest. Dili sab dapat gabi kataas, dili dapat gabi sab ka mubo lang. So be appropriate in length and align with the composition's purpose. So this is the type of paragraph or series of paragraphs where we should accord it sa atong purpose in writing. What do we mean by that? Sa atong lesson 2, or I mean sa atong lesson 1, if you still remember the purposes of composition writing, whether you are telling a story or you are narrating, whether you are describing, arguing, or explaining, makadepende dapat diha ang atong introduction, depende sa katason. So intro, where you expose your ideas, where you introduce, simplify, uh, a topic. Introduce ka nimo nga nakakasimple. Okay? You introduce a topic, dili sa dapat yabi kataas, depende siya sa topic or sa type or purpose rather sa composition. Again, composition is a composition or a collection of series of paragraphs. So we move forward with the methods for writing an introduction. Here are some tips on how to write introduction effectively. So you cannot just write introduction na basta-basta ka lamang, but you are enrolling this subject for a reason because you will learn here kung saan pagsulat sa introduction, body, and conclusion properly. So let's start with the jolting statement. Jolting means intense, John. Aggressive, gadget ka radyaw, okay? Jolting statement or shocking statement. Basically speaking, this kind of statement sa introduction shocks the reader with an unexpected statement. This is where we encounter sentences or statements like this example: money, a necessary evil. The students exclaimed, indeed, it is surprising to hear that money, the source of all or of many evils, is also the catalyzer of progress. So instead of writing here sa mga na quote and unquote na mga words, money, a necessary evil, jaoy exclamation point or jaoy ato padamdam. Meaning to say, it's intense. Meaning to say, there's some sort of emotion na involved diha sa ato statement. So that's why it is called jolting statement. So if you like this kind of introduction, you wanted to express something with an emotion, or maybe gusto lang yun nimo nga wala intense or aggressive lang ang dating sa imong sinulat, then please use jolting statement. Again, it shocks the reader with an unexpected statement. Instead of saying money is the source of all evil, joy dyan emotion giotro nimo because you are using jolting statement, money, a necessary evil. So that's why it is called jolting. Another example is Jerry. The truth can be a bitter pill to swallow. So we are talking here about the subject, the truth. He said it with a sigh. Yet it is often the truth that saves us even when it stinks. So instead of saying the truth will set us free, for example, J.E. Jagajud exclamation point, because again, jolting statement means intense John si na statement. Okay. Number two is dramatic scene. Ang dramatic scene, it creates a vivid, meaning to say clear siya, pag mulong to na vivid, emotional moment. This is very dramatic in a sense na jigujud involvement ng feelings ng tao or emotions ng tao. Happiness, sadness, anger, all of the emotions possible na ma-feel ng tao. Dramatic scene ang tawag if this kind of statement is used. Examples. Example number one. It was so horrible. Tina shrugged her shoulders as the thought of a fearful dream flashed through her mind. This is an example of a dramatic scene. Ano sa may naka-dramatic diha? Sir, you might wonder. But here is the part where it is a dramatic scene and here is the part where it is an emotional scene at the same time. Kaya nga naman, it's not this, it was so horrible. Dramatic siya, horrible. Ano sa may naka-horrible di ay? Si Tina nag-shrug sa iyang shoulder as the thought of a fearful dream. So, he or she, si Tina, naka-feel ng fear, rather, na emotion, nakahadlok sa iyang damgo, flashed through her mind. So, this kind, instead of saying, I had a dream, no? This kind of method sa introduction is dramatic scene. Na involvement of emotion and you are saying it vividly, you are saying it clearly. Okay? Basta kay emotional moment si Jana, imo sabtag intensify. Now, the rain poured relentlessly. As the lighting split the sky amid the chaos, Sarah stumbled. Another example sa mini sa dramatic scene gihapon. Sarah stumbled, her heart pounding, unable to shake the feeling that something sinister lurked in the darkness. As the words here are included, and they are not just words, they are somehow highfalutin words. They mga words na dili nato dayon masabtan without going to our dictionaries, but that's not the point. Oh, ang point diha is naka-feel ang writer ng emotion. Okay? Amid the chaos, Sarah stumbled, her heart pounding. So pag mo pound imo heart, pagpaspas ang beat sa imo heart kibali, you are feeling either fear or excitement. Pero diyan may ato idea na joy darkness. So nahadlok yun si Sarah dinhi. So this kind of statement or paragraph is what we call dramatic scene gihapon. Example na gihapon is a dramatic scene. So we move forward with the number 3 sa build-up statement na sab kita. Methods for writing an introduction is what we call build-up statement. This introduces an escalating problem or situation. If you still remember our module 1 lesson 2, atong development of a paragraph or atong ato structures of a paragraph, di ato tagtawag dito na cause and effect. So hopefully you still remember that kind of paragraph because this or that somehow is related to this, sa build-up statement. So build-up statement sa introduction is nag-introduce ka ng escalating, nisaka na mga problema or situation. Kung may pasabot dyan, sir, build up from the word itself, build up. Let's have an example. So, a serious and contagious disease is afflicting almost everybody now. So, starting point pa lamang na ay serious or seryoso, and contagious, dali ka makatakod na disease, is afflicting almost everybody now. It is a contemptible disease. So, basically, ang first sentence kay na ay disease or sakit na dali ra mapasa, dali makatakod, tapos seryoso yun, like the example, COVID-19. It is a contemptible disease which is causing tragedies in our society. Notice niyo ang second sentence. Build up statement siya kay naka-build up naman siya ng problema or situation. Diyan seryoso na disease, tapos naka-cause na subsidian ng tragedies in our society. Na build up na sab. So, last part of this build up statement should always be optimistic. Oh, joy ija cause, joy ija effect. Pero joy murag hope gani sa ulahi or sa last sentence. As you can see here, therefore, oo, all the citizens rather are urged to help prevent the spread of this disease. So ang epekto, because of the disease, ang mga citizens, tanan sila, are urged to help prevent the spread of this disease. Prevent nila na ma-spread or mapakanat pa this disease, whatever this disease is. So you notice here the build up na situation or problem. Na build up siya from disease, jay resulta, jay outcome, jay say ato effect. Okay? Jay cause, jay say effect. So that is build up statement. Another is a sudden wave of distrust is sweeping through the community. First sentence. A sudden wave of distrust, meaning to say, on wave, murag jaoy consistent na nahitabo. It's not literally ang wave sa dagat. Murag nagbalik-balik yun, no? Murag wave ba sa, yes, metaphorically, or similarly, it's like a sea wave or wave sa dagat na balik-balik yun siya, up, down, up, down. Balik-balik siya, there's a sudden wave of distrust, yung tagtawag na to. Wave of distrust is sweeping through the community, meaning to say, nakapa-down sa society or community na to. Joy, distrust, way pagsalig sa community. It is poisoning relationships, spreading division and doubt. So, diyan way pagsalig, ang resulta na is naka-poison sa atong relationship because tendency is pag dili ta mo salig sa atong for example sa atong neighborhood, sa atong silingan, poisonous ang atong relationship kay wala man tay trust in the first place. Therefore, naga-spread siya division and doubt. This is the second sentence. That's the effect of having distrust, kibali. And then lastly, again, it must be optimistic, pero it must be also a result still of the said build-up statement. Therefore, na may distrust, we must come together to restore the faith that binds us. This is an example, again, of a build-up statement. So, hopefully, nasabtan ninyo ang concept through the given example. So, number fourth method of writing an introduction. And that is impressionistic description. Impressionistic description is from the word itself, impression. First nato na observation sa something or someone. It uses sensory-rich imagery to set the mood. This is only for the purpose of setting the mood. For example, the wind swept the brown leaves on the ground and shook even the sturdy trees. Ang impression nato is ang ato, again, observation. So, there is an example, the writer is only noticing something. Notice unsay iyang nabantayan. The wind swept the brown leaves on the ground. Diyan anay, para dili kita maglibog. The wind, ang hangin, swept, tagsilhig kibali ang brown leaves, ang mga patay na dahon on the ground and shook even the sturdy trees, maskin ang mga gahi na mga punuan. So it must be a really strong wind. Amo iya na observe, but instead of saying the wind is strong, you describe niya pinaagi sa iyang impression, pinaagi sa iyang na-notice or observation niya in the first place. Therefore, houses trembled or natarog ang mga bayay tungod sa kakusog sa hangin. Pieces of their roof flew as the wind became stronger. So, gabi yung kakusog na hangin, naka-notice na siya, for example, ng bagyo. So, instead of saying there's a typhoon, jay ato, mga lain pamaagi to beautify that kind of sentence by using impressionistic description. Nag-describe lang ka, sa imo nakita, sa imo na-observe and na-perceive, but you are using it or you are basing it on your impression sa imong first description sa isa ka butang or tao. Now, number 5 is stimulating question. Ang stimulating question is asking simply a question. It engages readers by making them reflect. Kapag mag-ask ka ng question sa imo introduction, because there are writers good na nagamit ani. Writers na magamit og question mark sa iyang topic sentence, magamit og question mark basically sa tanan niyang introduction. So this is what we call stimulating question. It engages readers by making them reflect. to reflect, make them reflect kuno para ma-question nila kung unay about sa imo writing, kung unay ideas sa imo writing. So for example is this: why are men indifferent to the misfortunes of others? Why aren't they touched by the miserable plight of their fellow men? No matter the idea nga naa dinhi, regardless of the idea that's present here, ang point lang nato is pag mangutana ka, pag mag-ask ka ng question. As you can see here, there's already a question mark. There's a question mark there. So, ang point lang is, for example, imo topic ay Mobile Legends. So, why do I like playing Mobile Legends? So, in that way, you are using na dayon question mark. And in that way, by using question mark, you are stimulating a question. And this is using the fifth method of writing an introduction. Nganong magamit man taog question? If hilig ka uingon ani, therefore, you do this by engaging the readers by making them reflect. Diyon, mapangutanan nila alikaw galingon. Bitaw no, ngano sab jud bad ang corruption, for example. Ang imo ba dito statement pinakauna kay why is corruption bad? So maka-reflect sila bitaw no ngano sab kaha bad gyud ang corruption. So ingana ang reflection. Diyon, what if we could live life or live without fear of failure? Ngutana ka. Would we reach for dreams you once thought impossible? Ngutana na sab. Would we embrace our true potential, original by doubt? Nangutana na subsidya. So this is again the stimulating question. You stimulate your readers' engagement or interest by making them reflect. So tapos na ta sa introduction, diya to 5 ka book methods. Diyon sila. Jolting statement, dramatic scene, tapos build-up statement, tapos impressionistic description, tapos stimulating question na subdadyon. These are the methods for writing an introduction. Sa intro pa lamang diyon. But again, sa writing the composition, we need 3. The intro, the body, and conclusion. And since tapos naman ta sa introduction, we move forward na sab sa body. Sa body, there's no need to master this. Kay tanan na ato na discuss sa module 1 na agihan na nato adto dili na ibalik na sab ko man, pero I'm sure you're familiar with these words. So, ang importante lang sa body is detalye. Kung unay mo tag-introduce, dugangin ng detalye. For example, nag-introduce ko ng topic about abortion. Tapos sa body nimo mag-introduce sa magdugang ako ng detalye. These will be the paragraphs that are part of your body. And sa pinaka-importante na to i-consider sa body is the transitional paragraphs. At mga connectives na to. Transitional paragraphs, they help maintain continuity or jaon pagka-seamless gani, pagka-smooth sa ato writing. They help maintain continuity of thought and logical flow between paragraphs. Maskin change na ng paragraph, next paragraph na, murag wala gyapon wala makabantay si reader nga naa na siya sa tunga-tunga sa iyang gibasa. So that's again using transitional paragraphs. Joy coherence ba na pag-discuss nato since lesson 1. So these are the things that we already have discussed or we already had discussed sa ato lesson 1. Use of connectives, doon sila, mga however nato na mga words. Use of linking pronouns instead of using names, pronouns na sub. Use of echo words, balik-balik na mga words pero dili pwede magbalik-balik ng ideas. Bridge over the gap introduces a contrast. So, bridge over the gap is a new statement here or a new concept pero it's the same lang sa comparison and contrast. When we are comparing or we are contrasting one thing to another, amo dyan siya ang pasabot sa bridge over the gap paragraph. So, conclusion na sab kita. Sa conclusion class, it should leave a lasting impression on the reader. That's why ang ako gyud gipa-remind sa inyo ha, gina-remind gyud nako na katong pagsulat bitaw nato og outline if you still remember. I always urge you to ask this question sa inyong self. Am I against or am I in favor sa akong topic? It's really important to have that kind of stand para na kay baruganan sa imong conclusion. That's one of the reasons why I made you do that. So the reason is it should leave your idea, should leave a lasting impression on the reader. For For example, you are talking about simple lang, basketball. Am I in favor or against basketball? So in favor ka, sige ikaw duwa, ganahan ka mo duwa, therefore naa kay baruganan nga okay gyud si basketball. So it should leave a lasting impression sa reader nga kani nga writer in favor gyud siya. Kani nga writer musugot gyud siya nga naay basketball. So that's impression. That's leaving an impression sa mga reader na dili gyud ka ganahan ng ano pa ini. Dili ka gyud ganahan ng, for example, corruption. That's why you are against, and it's really important to go pick your stand and by asking a question, am I in favor or am I against? So that is the conclusion. These are the ways, sa mga pamaagi na to. Sa kaganina sa intro, jay ato, ano pa ini, mga methods, how to start the introduction. This time, nasa tayo ways, mga pamaagi to conclude a composition. These are the ways to conclude a composition. Number one, of course, very common, summary. To summarize something is to conclude something. Ang madyaon. I-recap pa nimo ang main idea. For example, nag-introduce ka ng topic ng abortion. For example, that's your intro. Abortion is this and that, blah, blah, blah. Tapos, example is, the abortion na nahitabo diri sa Philippines. Amo dyan imo body. Detalye na ito nimo. Detalye na sa, for example, sa Surigao City, for example, sa Manila, dagan imo klase-klase na example. That's adding details. Body na to siya. Sa conclusion, imo ka to siya balikod. It's true whether you are against or in favor. It's true that abortion is bad, for example. And all of the things being written in this composition is now reconsidered, no? Reconsidering all of the concepts being presented, it's true that abortion is really a form of an evil act. Laong kibali. So nag-summarize na ka dyan. Nag-summarize ka is, again, nag-recap ra ka. Simple lang yun. Brought up ra nimo ang imo nahisgutan sa intro and sa body. That's your conclusion na dayo. For example, this is man. Balik-balik ko na nimo dyan siya. Ano man ang man? He is imperfect, he is this, he is that, and he is evil, for example. He chooses, he is free. So, amo dyan siya nag-recap ra ka ng ideas, kibali na tag-present na sabi mo in the part of introduction and sa body sub, of course. Number 2 is forecast. To forecast means mukha ka nag-predict kibali. As this definition says, it predicts a hopeful future. Mukha ka naghula kibali. That's forecasting. That's why forecast meaning nag-predict. That's why sa balita natay gitawag na weather forecast, because sa weather forecasting mahibaw-an dyan ng mga weather forecasters na kung unoy weather ugma, because they have tools to predict what will happen. Muyan ba, suga ba, dyan ila dyan capability. So that's forecasting. Nag-forecast sila pangingana. So sa conclusion sab daw, dyan ito tagtawag na forecasting. Forecasting is maybe you are delivering an idea that will happen pa sa future. Wala pa siya mahitabo, pero dyan mo idea na mahitabo siya posible. Example, it will not be long before we attain the kind of society we have dreamed of. Example, there will be no more beggars on the streets. There will be no more slaves. So sa first statement na, it will not be long before, dili na madugay, before we attain or before we achieve the kind of society we have dreamed of. So, pangandoy pa man nato, basically speaking, di ba? Wala pa yun na siya mahitabo. So, we are forecasting. We are predicting a future. There will be, kung mahitabo to siya, no? Ang gipangarap nato na society, then there will be no more beggars, well, ano mga limusay on the streets. There will be no more slaves, or wala na yung mga gi-abuse na mga sulugoon or mga slaves na taglaong nila. So, wala pa siya mahitabo, forecast na nato ang possibilities. It's like saying na, for example, imo topic Mobile Legends na sab, mulong na sab ka kibali na, it's true that Mobile Legends is good. If we continue to play Mobile Legends, wala pa ta mag-play ha, kung mo continue pa ta, which is a futuristic event. Mahitabo pa siya sa future. So that is forecasting. If we continue to play Mobile Legends, then we will be not so stressful sa atong school works or sa atong workloads. So we are predicting what will happen if we continue to play Mobile Legends. That's the point there sa atong forecasting. So another is question. Kaganina kung joy sa introduction nato, simulating questions, joy sa question na pwede gyapon kita magamit ng question mark. Yes, we can do that. We can question through conclusion. It leaves the reader pondering or naga-reflect gyapon sila. Pero introduction ato kaganina, kuman is it's different because we are talking about conclusion sa last part ng imo composition. So example, he has done what he has to do but he still does not feel happy. He was almost everything he wanted but he still does not feel fulfilled. Is it strange then to think that man does not have satisfaction? So dili gyud makontento ang tao maski naa na iya, ma-happy na siya, gusto gyud gyapon og more and more and more. So ang question din is it strange then to think, that's the last sentence, is it strange then to think that man does not have satisfaction? So that kind of question stimulates a reflection. Bitaw no, kung ang mga tao di makontento, so is it safe to think na ang man or ang woman does not have satisfaction? Naa ba gyud tayong satisfaction or wala? Diba? Maka-reflect dayon sila. So as readers, as writers rather, that's what we want sa atong readers, no, to reflect if we use that type of conclusion or that way of conclusion, which is to ask questions. Example, basketball. Sa last part, basketball imo topic. Tapos sa last part sa conclusion mo ang na. So, does basketball really make me happy or not? Question mo. And dayon ka. Then, you leave the answers open to interpretation ang imong conclusion because you leave the answers to the readers. Sila na mismo ang mag-answer ato kung happy ba gyud ang tao mo dula og basketball, happy ba gyud siya or dili. You leave the answers to them. Although na I answer as a person, as a writer. Pero that's the that's the part where the type of or this way of conclusion is used. Question. Number 4, suggestion. It offers advice or encouragement. Example, we would find this life worth living if we would only occupy ourselves with useful activities. Joy, murag advice kibali ba? Mura nan joy suggestion ni writer about the topic. For example, the topic is satisfaction. Doon, sa example, sa screen. Ang atong example is about satisfaction na topic. So, masatisfied daw ta if we would find this life worth living, if we would only occupy ourselves with useful activities. Masatisfied daw ta if we occupy ourselves, if we, joy suggestion, kung himuon lamang nato ini, which is to occupy ourselves with useful activities. Then we would find satisfaction if we would only count our blessings. Joy suggestion na sa. Na satisfy kita kung i-count nato ato blessings. So it seems like the writer is suggesting what we should do, no, as readers. So amo dyan suggestion. Another example yapon sa suggestion, Mobile Legends na sa. For example, you agreed with Mobile Legends in favor ka kibali. Mulong nasab ko sa conclusion na if we wanted to be satisfied, if we wanted to be entertained with our friends, we should play Mobile Legends. Laong ba? So that's suggestion. Number 5, lastly, is quotation. Sa quotation, nag-include na kang simple ng quotation. Nga nakakasimple. It ends with a powerful quote. So, dapat ang imo conclusion, joy quotation, na of course, related dapat sa imo topic. If your topic is all about Mobile Legends, therefore, the quotation must be all about the gameplay which we call Mobile Legends. If it's all about morality, therefore the conclusion na ay quotation must be related to morality. So what I'm saying is whatever you include is possible and is admissible. Pwede siya as long as it is related lang sa imong topic in the first place. So again, these are the ways to conclude composition. Diya to lima ka buo. Number one is summary, mag-recap ko ng idea. Number two is forecast, when you predict a hopeful future. Tapos, number three, question, to simply ask a question to leave the reader pondering or reflecting. Number four is suggestion, or you are suggesting an idea about your topic, or you are suggesting what your readers would do or should do sa imo topic. And lastly, the quotation. Okay, quotation ang ato last way to conclude a composition. Basically, nag-include lang ka ng quotation or ng statement coming from other person or group of people na related, ha? Remember the word related sa imo topic. Adya pag include ng quotation na completely irrelevant sa imo topic. So, tapos na kita sa lesson 3. That's all you need to know about lesson 3. Mubo lang yun kaayo. And pasensya if we anak ko ini discuss sa face-to-face because I had, of course, some important matter. Wala lang yun ko katunga-tunga time kay na busy ko, no? Maybe more important than the class that we should be having. So anyway, diyan na may ato alternative. This proves that I care about the lesson and I care about what you should know sa ato klase. So if you would help me sa lesson 4, ang ato title is giving the title. Basically, diyan kay mga tips din kung unsa na to pag suyat dapat sa correct na title or sa acceptable na title. I don't need to discuss this one because all of the things included here are very self-explanatory. What do we mean? Masabtan yun kayo siya masking grade 2 ang magbasa. I guarantee if makabasa ka, makasabot ka sa words, makasabot ka sa lesson 4 because sa composition, tudloan lang kaniya unsaon pagsulat sa maayo nga title or sa kanang acceptable na title. Dili na ako kailangan ni ihungit pag yun sa inyo. I don't need to spoon feed this sa inyo ha because this is your part to read sa atong lesson 4. So, if you would do me a favor, then read lesson 4. Jaon. Jaon tanan sa module, everything that I should be saying is part of the module. If na-download na kamo, naka-download na kamo, naka-secure na kamo ng copy, please do an advanced reading. Okay? So, based on these lessons, I guess tapos na ta sa ato midterm topics. Lessons 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ang lesson 4 ay trabahoon, basahan niyo. Okay? So, I guess I am done and I will stop recording now. Thank you so much for your time um thank you so much in finding your time sa paglantaw in watching this video. I hope that you learned something. Thank you very much.